So if you're an influencer that is finally ready to start getting paid for your work, maybe you're a micro influencer or a nano influencer, you're busting it day in and day out, creating content, growing your following, doing all the things that you needed to be doing to get to this video, to this place where you can actually start getting paid, then you're in the right place, because I'm gonna go over a few of the main things that you need to be doing in order to ensure that you can actually get paid in this influencer world, right? Now, I think a lot of times, like the biggest thing that I always recommend is really, what is your goal? Is this like a creative platform for you where you have fun and it's like a hobby and you do it between work or after school, or like, is that just the vibe right there? Or is this something that's going to be a business? Because if you're like, no, Nina, I really want this. I want this so bad. I want to make this my business. I want this to be something, that I really expand on, even though, it's not going to be overnight, but you're really hungry and you're ready. Then I think the biggest thing that you're going to need when it comes to getting paid as an influencer is obviously your niche. Now, a lot of times people get really thrown off and anxious when it comes to figuring out your niche as an influencer, because they're like, wait, what do I even do? I love so many things and I want to talk about so much and I'm like stressed, right? So I think ultimately, this is kind of like how I envision, your niche. I think that when it comes down to niching down and being very clear on your niche, you want people to know what to expect when they land on your account, right? So like, I know for Sidewalker Daily, this is my company. I work with brands on their influencer marketing. I work with influencers on their pitching to brands, and like, I'm in this fun space. I also have a lot of other things I'm interested in, right? But if you go to my channel, actually, after you watch this video, go ahead and do this. Go to my channel, look at all the videos I've made. They're all very clear, right? In terms of what we talk about, in terms of what our content pillars are, what are the main buckets of content that Sidewalker produces. So we talk about social strategy, influencer marketing, pitching to brands. Like, these are very big themes within our entrepreneurship bucket, so to speak. I don't have videos on my channel about like recipes or what I wore today or what my kids, what's their first swim date. I don't even know. I'm making this sort of stuff up. The point that I'm trying to explain to you is, in order to, really work with brands, you want to be super clear in your niche, and you want to be very, very clear, because the brands that you want to attract to eventually pay you as an influencer, they also want to feel that you have a very clear audience, that, at the end of the day, brands are going to you as an influencer to access your audience, right? So the more clear you are on who your audience is, the better win-win brand partnership you're gonna have, right? So like, we've even started working with brands on our YouTube channel, even though that's not like really by any means a space that we thought we were gonna get into, but brands know like our audience is very interested in influencer marketing. So I think that that's one of the most important pieces of advice is, if you're trying to get paid in this space, no longer a hobby, making it a business, is really having a clear, defined niche. Now, the next thing that you're gonna wanna do is, once you've defined your niche, is to really make sure that this is clear on all platforms. So what I mean by that is, like, is your Instagram optimized? Is your bio optimized? If I land on your page, am I gonna be able to know what your niche is? Like, you wanna make sure that it is a very clear thing for the brand that is, coming and scoping you out, because you want to make sure everything is aligned and all the platforms that you play on is aligned. Funny enough, I have some influencers who like use TikTok in this like very fun personal way, and then they use Instagram in one way and YouTube in another. But again, if you're trying to work with brands, you do want to have like a consistent theme throughout your platforms as well. They can show different sides of your personality, but I don't think we should have like, it's like if our Instagram was completely different than our YouTube. We need to have some common threads, especially when you're trying to reach out to brands and getting paid. Now, another thing you're gonna wanna do if you're trying to get paid as an influencer is make sure that your content is diversified, but also fits like a brand would want to work with you for content. Okay, so hear me out. If I am a beauty brand and I go on an influencer's page that is posting beauty content, one thing that is so important is to show diversity of feed, right? So it's not just all like selfies of how the beauty is. Maybe it's like a selfie, maybe there's like product shots, maybe there's like, you know, flat lays, like a variety in the feed, because as a brand, like I want to make sure that I can kind of see the variety of content that you make and then like pick something that works for us. Also, brands want to be able to say like, oh, I want her to do that for me, or I want him to do that for me. So what do I mean? If you are an influencer, and in the beauty example, let's just say you grab like a face wash and you're doing a reel, like a 30-second Instagram reel on how to apply this face wash, I can then envision, oh, if she did that for this face wash company, then she could do that for us, right? So you want to create content that brands or people on the brand side can say like, wow, like, look what she did for them. Can she do something similar for our company? So that's why it's important when you are creating content as an influencer, especially one that is looking to sell their content, license their content, and get paid, is to create a diversity of different styles so brands can, you know, pick and choose. And not only different styles, you also want to show, like, you want the brands to have that aha moment. Because here's the thing, you can pitch something to a brand and say like, oh, like we should do this, that, the other, but they can't see it, right? They can't envision what that looks like. But if you are an influencer that like has an example of a piece of content that you can show them like, oh, I want to do this for you, but like, look at this piece of content, it's so similar. Then they're able to visualize it, right? That's like a huge part of pitching, is having something custom and having the brand be able to visualize it. Now, if you're an influencer that wants to pitch to brands, I'm also going to leave a link for you below on our Pitching to Brands Mastercourse. It is the holy grail on all things pitching. Take my word for it. If you're looking for media kits, pitching advice, this exact step-by-step formula, how to price yourself, literally anything that is pitching related and pitching to brands related, you can go in and click and see. You'll see all the testimonials from creators like you that are getting massive wins. So if you are interested in pitching to brands and getting paid work, then definitely check out the Mastercourse. You're gonna love it. Now, if you want to get paid by brands and become like, you know, like I said, an influencer that is getting paid to work in this industry, then something that is really important is the value you provide to your audience. So basically, your audience, or brands will know if your audience is really loyal and invested and interested in your work through your engagement, right? They're gonna know how big your engagement rate is, you know, how often do people like not only watch your content, but like rewatch it? Are they clicking? Are they sharing? Are they saving? You know, these are important metrics, and these are things that brands can't see from the front. That's why having a media kit is so important, and including all of this information in your media kit so that you guys can actually like show the brand, hey, like look at the number of saves I get or shares, because this is information that the brand would need to request to be able to see, right? So especially if you're trying to get paid, you need to know your insights. You need to know your analytics. You need to, again, treat this as a business. And someone that's treating this as a business is going to know like what does well, what doesn't. Like this piece of content got like, I don't know, 100 shares. That's great, right? So it's up to you as an influencer in this space to also like do that research so that you can kind of like know what does well and what doesn't, so you can use that in your pitching efforts. I think one really important thing of like wanting to get paid is showing the brand like, hey, my audience is ride or die. They are super loyal. They are going to take my recommendations to heart. They trust me, right? Trust being the most important thing that you can provide to your audience. So again, if you are able as an influencer to show this information in your media kit, in your case study, you know, being able to outline this is going to help you, you know, not only get paid as an influencer, but develop a relationship with that brand that shows that you are, you know, you're a professional, that you're treating this as a business. And hopefully that can become a long-term partnership. And just to conclude here on today's video about like getting, you know, paid as an influencer, it's just knowing your value, right? So like, working with brands and getting paid is a value-based exchange. You need to know that you are valuable, what your content is worth, so that you can go to brands and not take, just the free stuff because that's what they're giving you. Of course, if you're just starting out, it's like an internship, right? You're getting like paid to learn in the very beginning. So everyone has different like levels of where they're at. Our Pitching to Brands Master Course is actually for all levels. We go through, from very, very beginners that are looking to start pitching to advanced influencers who are looking to grow their ambassador programs, charge more. So it really has everything in it. So again, I'll leave that link below so that you guys can learn more. Hopefully you guys liked today's video. If you did, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're doing. Have you gotten paid by brands yet? If so, that's awesome. I'm so excited cheering for you guys. Leave your Instagram handles in the comments so I can go check you out. And I will see you guys in the next video.